Welcome to a special edition of Forward DFW together with the Dallas Morning News, coming to you from the headquarters of VNA Meals on Wheels in Dallas County, as we highlight the corporate nonprofit partnership between VNA Meals on Wheels and Toyota. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Forward DFW together with the Dallas Morning News. I'm Ron Corning, and we are here at the headquarters of the Visiting Nurse Association, or VNA, also the home of Meals on Wheels since 1973. The Dallas-Fort Worth metro area is home to the 10th largest population of seniors. That's people 65 or over. The key demographic that Meals on Wheels serves. 9% of the population in DFW also is living below the poverty line. So this organization has its work cut out for them. How are they tackling it? What sort of progress are they making? We're going to talk about all of that here today with Jennifer Austin, who's the Managing Director of Development and Communications. Jennifer, thank you for being part of this conversation. You've been here for 10 years.
Yes.
And so you know all too well how pervasive the problem is and what kind of progress you're making. We have to say the number of seniors who need your help continues to grow, does it not?
It does. Every day in our country, 12,000 people turn 65. And so we are in the middle of a silver tsunami. And the needs of those seniors are growing too. So it's hard for anyone to age. And when you are food insecure, don't have access to appropriate transportation, have chronic conditions, and are homebound, it's just harder. And so that's where we come in.
There are conditions at play, too, for which you're not responsible, whether it be a lack of affordable housing among a growing population of elder people, less access to health care, all issues that are being dealt with in different ways, and we hope to a better end. But in the meantime, you're left with that fundamental purpose of making sure that people are fed. And your nurses, part of VNA, the Visiting Nurse Association, they are out there on the front lines every day. They're coming back to you with insight into their clients that goes beyond just what they need for medical care. Is that how that connection was made back in 1973? That you could help serve people or meet them where they were?
That's exactly right. And food really is a part of medicine. And healthcare is mostly taking place outside of a clinical setting. And so since in our 90 years, we have always gone to where people call home and where we can meet that need. And this is just part of that. So when we are delivering a meal back in 1973, even today in 2024, a volunteer who's delivering that or a staff person is going to see things that you just can't see in a doctor's office.
Yeah.
And so we can report back and actually become a trusted person in the senior's life, that we can say, you know what, it might be time for you to have someone else help you in the home. Or it might be time for us to call a family member and say, maybe it's not safe for that person to be in the home. And so we are able to be that eyes and ears that helps people connect to other resources to help them age in place.
I think that speaks to the evolution of this organization, that the idea of providing nursing care to people who need it, whether it be palliative or hospice care. Meals on Wheels is just one program of many that VNA has implemented, because you do see the bigger picture. You do see more than one issue that might lend itself to somebody's poor health.
Yeah, it's really a continuum of care. And the goal is to help someone age where they want to be. And if it's okay, then they want to be at home. And so how can we create an atmosphere where they're going to receive nutrition, they're going to receive a daily knock on the door, and even more, they're going to receive that social nutrition. Isolation, especially after the pandemic, has become such a hard thing for everybody. But if you are already alone and you're already aging, it's just exacerbated.
Yeah, you know that in many cases, some of these elder folks who are shut in, the contact they have with your volunteer might be some of the only contact they have.
That's exactly right. And we hear time after time where someone may have fallen and our volunteer shows up that morning the next day and can call 911. Or, for example, there's been a client who had a nosebleed and we kept asking, are you okay? Well, it turns out that this client had been taking medication from several different places. And so we can send in one of our community health workers to evaluate and see what else is going on with the patient, and so that we can contact their physician, see what else we can do to help them stay healthy.
Yeah, that's really remarkable. So Jennifer, if someone knows someone who's food insecure in their neighborhood, it could be a neighbor. I had a shut-in neighbor as well. It turns out needed help like that. What do they need to assess? What does it take to qualify for Meals on Wheels?
Well, there's a number of payers that can qualify someone for Meals on Wheels, so don't let that be an issue. But generally, it's someone who is 60 or older, has multiple chronic conditions, lower income, and doesn't have the ability to have reliable transportation, can't get out and about, so they're homebound.
Mm-hmm. And you serve specifically Dallas County at this location, but there are other resources available as well for people.
There are. So there are Meals on Wheels organizations all throughout the country, all throughout North Texas. We do list those partners on our website. So I just encourage someone, if they know someone in Dallas County, to go on our website, complete that referral form, and we'll take it from there.
And we're going to let people know what that website is, but let's say it here again.
It is www.vnatexas.org.
The importance of community involvement. Let's break it down all the ways in which people who are hearing this can get involved. Of course, you always accept donations.
Absolutely.
You're donor funded to a huge extent, aside from other large donors and partnerships and so forth. You really rely on those smaller donations from individuals who care, many of whom maybe have had an experience with somebody who's been food insecure. And then you have volunteers and the importance of these volunteers. I saw them out here picking up meals this morning at 10 o'clock. What is that like for you in terms of recruiting volunteers? How's that effort going? What does it look like?
It takes a village, quite literally, to make this daily miracle happen. And
a daily miracle?
Yes.
Yeah.
We are delivering 5,000 meals every weekday throughout 1,000 square miles of Dallas County, and we cannot do that with staff alone. On any given day, about half of our routes are delivered by volunteers, about half by staff. And did you know that for every route delivered by a volunteer, in lieu of a staff person, we can feed someone for an entire week? So it really does take that partnership, and we need folks that can go out into the community and just be a friend and deliver that food and friendship.
Yeah, and we're going to let people know exactly how much money it takes to feed one person daily. It's literally the cost. I know it sounds cliche, the cost of a cup of coffee, which has also changed over the years, but now that latte that you get every day could be feeding someone as well. And the importance of corporate partnerships, including Toyota. We're going to talk with them and their work with VNA Meals on Wheels when we come back in just a moment. If you want to make a difference and volunteer at VNA Meals on Wheels, visit volunteer.vnatexas.org. And for $7.75, you can deliver a meal to a senior. To donate, go to vnatexas.org/give. You can deliver hope, food, and friendship. Welcome back, everyone. In 2017, Toyota began partnering with VNA Meals on Wheels in Dallas County and really beyond Dallas County. We're going to talk about it with the General Manager of Enterprise Strategy, Frank Noel, is joining us from Toyota. Hey, Frank, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm not a stranger to how you operate in the community. You have a specific department, right, which is formulated and staffed for the purpose of helping organizations like Meals on Wheels. What's it like for you to be a part of that?
Yeah, it's pretty special, for Toyota. We have a group called the Toyota Production System Support Center, TSSC, that their goal is really to go out in the community and find needs that are out there. We have a very specialized process on how we Kaizen and continuous improvement in our manufacturing facilities to make our great products. We think about how can we take that and bring it out into the community. And it's so special to have that group and those specialized people to share their knowledge with a group like VNA.
I appreciate you mentioning Kaizen, because that is a Japanese term, is it not?
That is, yeah.
Which is integral to your culture at Toyota. And it means what exactly?
Continuous improvement. We feel that if once we do something and we achieve excellence, we can always do better. It's just part of our culture, part of our DNA, and we want to share that knowledge and that thinking way with everyone.
Mendomi is another one. Am I saying that correctly?
Mendomi, yes. It's care for others. And how do we have two pillars. We always say Kaizen, continuous improvement, and respect for people, and Mendomi are our two pillars that we have at Toyota. And so the Mendomi part is really caring for others. How do we, go out in the community and find the needs, and how do we show that respect?
Jennifer, it sounds like a perfect partner because they care about the same things you care about. They care about being efficient in the process so that more people can get fed. And they also care about caring for the people who are food insecure. Did you feel that partnership from the beginning?
We absolutely did. And the group not only lended that expertise, they really started actually by volunteering. They wanted to get the full experience, and they wanted to get, what is it like to be a volunteer? Who am I serving in the end? And so I think that they really started it that way, and that's how they built what they did.
Did it also help you, Frank, understand a little bit about the processes by just coming here to pick up the food, delivering the food to the respective clients? You got a sense of where there might be in the process of delivering food some gaps?
Yeah, absolutely. The first is understand what's the baseline condition, right? So come here, work with VNA Meals on Wheels, understand the process and find those opportunities that are there for us to improve upon. So yeah, you have to experience that firsthand.
And it sounds like you're fairly nimble, or I should say you customize your approach, because in Collin County, Meals on Wheels there needed a different kind of help in terms of like how their kitchen runs, for example, whereas this is a well-oiled machine. So where was your attention for Dallas County VNA Meals on Wheels?
Yeah, and thanks for mentioning that on the other side, because there's many ways to help, right? For VNA Meals on Wheels, really the need was on the technology side. How do we improve the data? How do we improve the customer experience for the seniors? How do we improve it for the VNA team? The manual operation that they have every day to get those meals ready, but then also the paperwork behind the scenes and all the tracking. How do we make that better?
And I suspect you probably already knew and felt that you had areas where you needed improvement, but you just didn't have the right organization to come in and consult you in that way.
Sure.
With this partnership, 7 years into it, where does the time go? Are you feeling the difference? And how soon after Toyota's involvement did you start to see some improvements?
It's hard to recall what it was like, but everything was done on paper. There were a lot of manual processes, and even though we were still able to deliver that, we're doing so much more. Back then, it was around 4,000 meals a day. We're delivering 1,000 more every weekday, and then 2,000 more to senior centers. So we're able to do more, and not only are we able to deliver more meals, we're able to do more for the clients. VNA Meals on Wheels delivers so much more than a meal. We are that social connection. We are the eyes and ears. And so what this technology enables us to do is to take what the volunteers are seeing, put it down in an app. They can record what they're seeing, record if there's issues. And in that same day, our team gets an issues report, and that's dispersed to a team that can follow up immediately. We can see if a volunteer hasn't shown up, so we don't have a drop route. It's a game changer.
That's incredible. And as we talked about earlier, yes, your nurses are on the front lines, and they're always assessing needs beyond just food insecurity. It's sort of it's a holistic kind of approach. She mentioned the app. That's such an important component to this. It's sort of meeting people where they are. A lot of people have smartphones. Volunteers are required to download the app that you aided in developing. Right. Tell me a little bit more about that and how it's working.
Yeah, the app is a great experience. When you go on and you register, you can say, I want to volunteer. You can do it on the app. You can get your route assigned to you on the app. As you're delivering the meals, it gives you the list of everyone that you're going to deliver to right there. Instead of having to go from a paper sheet and type in your directions, you can actually just click a button, and then it takes you to the, pops up Google Maps, or, any kind of map will pop up and it'll take you right there. As Jennifer mentioned, when you're doing delivery, anything that they say to you or any needs that they may have, you can do it right in the app. And then as you can kind of check them off as you go, if meal isn't delivered, you can say why. And then also at the end, when you're done, it's kind of a gamification, right? So on my app, when I open up my VNA Meals app, it shows me right there how many I've delivered for the year. And so I always want to challenge that. I can do better. I can Kaizen that. I can do more meals.
Right. You only make progress when you track how far you've come. Yeah. And then you can set a new goal. And that report that it generates, I would think, allows you to see if there are any themes emerging or any particular issues that are consistent among the population of seniors who are food insecure.
You're right. And it was such a game changer for us to adapt during COVID. So we launched this in 2019, but in 2020, our world changed. And we quickly had to adjust how we delivered meals. And instead of using volunteers at that time, we used staff, but we were able to still engage our volunteers. Instead of them using the app to go deliver, they used it to call clients, to let them know that we're going to be delivering on this day, and to ask them what else they might need. And when COVID vaccines came out, we were able to ask their interest in it, and if they'd like to have someone call them to schedule an in-home vaccine. We're able to use that routing system to take those folks out to deliver flu shots, to deliver vaccines. the way that we're able to adapt to use this technology to serve whatever the need is at the moment has been huge for us and helps us deliver that more than a meal.
And have you imagined what life would be like without this partnership? Because they've brought you a measurable distance, I think, toward helping meet the needs of people in the community.
Absolutely. And we know that there's so much need, especially here in Dallas County, and we wouldn't be able to do it still by paper. And so in order for us to serve more, we know we can do more. This kitchen behind us can serve more than 12,000 meals a day. We're at about 7. So the only way we're going to be able to get there is through having a really efficient way to do that so that we can do more with what we have.
Same question for you, but from the other side.
Yeah.
How is being aligned with an organization that cares about the community, but they're showing it by being out there on the front lines every day? How does that change your experience as an employee of a corporation like Toyota?
Yeah, it gives me, satisfaction in our company, that we're going down the right path, that we want to engage in our community, we want to make a difference, and then to have partners like VNA that want to partner with these organizations like Toyota, and we find these opportunities, and I can't wait to see what opportunity we're going to find next, because there's something else that we can improve on, and we're going to work together to do that.
Yeah.
Well, we have a call to action because in addition to the importance of your partnership with VNA Meals on Wheels, it's all about volunteers, it's about donations, people giving, and all of that, and we hope today's conversation has inspired you to do all of that. Frank Noel from Toyota, thank you very much. Jennifer Austin, thank you. And thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Ron Corning. We'll see you next time. If you know someone who can benefit from VNA Meals on Wheels, visit vnatexas.org.